Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial on C language. Today we are going to talk about for loop. In the previous lecture, we have learnt about while loop. To execute this printf statement 4 times, we have done three things basically. First, we declared a variable and initialized it to 1, then incremented the variable at the end of the loop, and we checked for a condition. So index is less than 5, it will make the loop for 4 times. If I used some 10 value, it would have looped for 9 times. So basically we did three operations: initialization, condition checking, and incrementing the variable at the end of the loop. So what does for loop do? It puts all these three operations under one roof. Okay, so for it will be like this: first initialization, then we are going to check the condition, okay, something like this, index less than 5 or something, then we are going to increment. Okay, so this is how a for loop looks like. Okay, so let us do the same program which we have done earlier using for loop. Okay, let us look at this. Okay, I have declared a variable index and I initialize to 1, and I'm checking for the condition index is less than 5, and I'm incrementing the index equal to index plus 1, and we'll do the same thing. Printf the value of index is percentile d, new line, and the value of index. Okay, let's run this program. So the value of index is 1 2 3 4. So the loop ran for exactly 4 times. Okay, index was initially 1, and it checked for the condition index is less than 5. Since index is less than 5, it executed the statement, and when it has reached the end of the loop, it will increment the index will become 1 plus 1 2, and again it will check for the condition 2 is less than 5, it is true, hence it will again print the statement, and then again it will come to the end of the loop. Now index will become 2 plus 1 3, so again 3 is less than 5, so again it will execute this printf statement, again it will reach the end of the loop, and again it will become 3 plus 1, index will become 4, again it will check 4 is less than 5, it will print, again it will come to the end of the loop. Now index will become 4 plus 1 5, so now 5 is no longer less than 5, so it will exit the for loop. So this is how for loops work. So many times you might have seen, instead of index equal to index plus 1, people write index plus plus. This means, this double plus means increment operator, so it will increment the index by 1. Okay, so there is a confusion among many people whether to write index plus plus or plus plus index. So this is called post incrementation operator, and this is called pre incrementation operator. So let us see what index plus plus does, and let us see what plus plus index does. So let us take an example to understand post incrementation operator and pre incrementation operator. Okay, let us have two variables, index 1 and index 2. Let's initialize both of them with value 5. Okay, now let us have another two variables, I and j. So now what we can do is, we can make I is equal to index 1 plus plus, and we can make j equal to plus plus index. Okay, so now let what will be the value of I and j. Okay, the value of I is percentile d, new line, and I, the value of j is percentile d, new line, and j. Okay, since we told that plus plus means incrementation operator, so normally people may think index 1 is 5, 5 plus plus means 6, so I will be 6, but I will be actually 5 and j will be 6. So let us run this program and see. it's index 2. Okay, so the value of I is 5, the value of j is 6. So why is this happening? Because this is post incrementation operator. So what happens is I will be equal to index 1. Index 1 is 5. So I will be equal to 5. After that, index 1 became 5 plus plus. That is, index 1 became 6. Okay, we can check the value of index 1 also. Index 1 will become 6. Value of index 1 is percentile D, U line, index 1. Okay, index 1 has become 6. Now, what about j? This is a pre-incrementation operator. What happens is, first it will increment the value of index 2. Since index 2 is 5, plus 5 will make it 6, and j will become equal to 6. That's why j was 6. And index 2 anyway, it became plus index 2, so it became 6. So we can check the value of index 2 also. So let us run this program. So value of I will be 5, value of index 1 will be 6, value of index 2 will be 6, and value of j will be 6. So value of I is 5, value of index 1 is 6, value of index 2 is 6, and value of j is 6. Okay. Inside the for loop, we can have more than one initialization. Let us take an example. Suppose I have two variables. I want to initialize both of them inside the for loop. So how can I do that? Suppose I want to initialize I with 1 and j with 10. Okay, I can just use a comma and make as many initializations as I want. If I had another variable z, I could have initialized z also with some value. Okay, now if I want to increment these values or decrement these values, I can always use I plus plus. Again, I can separate them with commas. If I want to decrement j, I can use j minus minus. If I want to increment this z, I can use plus plus z. Okay, but the conditions I cannot give more than one using the comma separator. Okay, suppose if I want I to be less than 10 and I want j to be greater than 1, I cannot give both of these conditions separated by a comma. I can only use logical and or logical or. If I want both of these conditions to be true, I can give logical and. Okay, but I cannot give both the conditions separated by a comma. Okay, that is how this will work. Let us run this program and see what it will give as output. So we can print the values of I, j and z. The value of I is percentile D. The value of j is percentile D. The value of z is percentile D. And then a new line. We'll check the values of I, j and z. So initially I is initialized with the value 1. So it will print the value of I is 1. The value of j is 10. So it will print the value of j as 10. And then the value of z is 6. Okay. After executing this printf statement, when it reaches the end of the for loop, it will increment the I, decrement the j, and increment the z. Okay. So now the value of I will become 2, and 2 is less than 10. So condition is satisfied. And the value of j is 10 minus 1. So 9. So 9 is greater than 1. So z is 7 because we are incrementing the value of z. Okay. So it will go on until the value of I will become more than 10 or the value of j will become less than 1. Okay. So the value of, at the end, what happened, the value of I is 9, the value of j is 2, the value of z is 14. Okay. At the end of the loop, I became 10, hence the condition is no longer satisfied and it came out of the loop. Hope all of you learned how to use for loop. In the next video, we will learn about do while loop. Thank you.